In day-to-day life, there are many times when humans can reliably predict and be sure of the outcome that will come from an event, but frequently there will be an occurrence where the outcome is impossible to predict and is randomly decided. The outcomes of these random events are frequently decided by the delta of randomness. Random occurrences are extremely common in everyday life, and there are frequently set limitations on how positive or negative a certain outcome can be. Within these occurrences, there is also frequently an outcome which has a much higher chance than any other. Take, for example, two six-sided dice. The most positive possible outcome here is 12, and the most negative would be 2. The most common in this situation would be 7. The delta of randomness represents how far from the natural course of things an event can stray. In order to fully explain this, we shall be using the video game Hearthstone, a prime example of the delta because of the way most of the potential randomness is floating at the very top of the game for all viewers to see, as well as the gaming concept of the power curve, which provides a form of balance in the game much as nature does in real life, and logic does in mathematics. But before we explain how the delta works, we need to explain the 3 reasons why randomness is included in video games. The first reason is to create moments of tension and excitement for those playing the game. The second reason is in order to level the playing field between beginners and veterans to the game. And finally, the third reason is in order to create an ever-changing environment for games with infinite possibilities. In the world of the computer card game Hearthstone, many of the cards used have a general formula for how they are constructed. The stronger a card is, the more mana a player will need to spend in order to play it. As the game continues, a player gains 1 more mana each turn from 1 onto a maximum of 10. This establishes a power curve, or line along which these cards are based. Much like a line graph, with the mana cost being the value on the x-axis, and the overall power of a card being evaluated by the y-axis. In order to complete the delta, from this central line, 2 lines split off, slowly veering away and creating spaces above and below the power curve. These represent the space in which the card can move within the space of randomness, modifying its effects and stats. The idea presented by this is that any random event, in-game or otherwise, has a limit to the number of possible outcomes, and that these may all be mapped with values in place of those used in Hearthstone. For example, if instead of power and mana you used benefits and downfalls, you would be able to use it to plot the outcomes for many practical situations in real life. When data is applied to the delta, it allows for practical risk assessment and shows the range not only in the number of outcomes but also in the effects of the outcomes and how positive or negative they could be.